It is.
So this is why when you have anxious times like this, we don't want to be going around with our heads chopped off, do we?
No, definitely not.
We're all good. I'm taking notes.
Okay.
We're
Good
good to go,
evening.
Your Worship.
Oh, thank you very much, Ms. Lewis. Good evening, everybody, and welcome to our council meeting here in the city of Mount Pearl, February 9th, 2021. We're into month 2. It's going to be an adventurous month, but I know we're up to it, and we have some rough waters that we're swimming through right now. But hopefully there's light at the end of the tunnel in the coming days, or the coming weeks. I'm looking at a public council meeting agenda, folks, that you see there, starting with the minutes, but I'll call for a motion to adopt the minutes with the note.
So moved.
Moved by the deputy mayor and second by Councillor Antle. We'll have a roundtable discussion after the minutes to talk about the COVID events and the implications here in the city of Mount Pearl before we resume the rest of the agenda. So I am here looking at January 26th minutes, and I'm looking for errors or omissions, please. Hearing none, I'm going to ask then for a motion, please, to accept the minutes. Moved by Councillor Fry, second by Councillor Antle. Thank you very much. And I call the motion. All in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? Carried. Anything from the minutes, folks? Please quote the item number in either the minutes or the action report.
If I may, Your Worship.
Yes, please. Go ahead, Councillor.
21-01-044, the Mental Health Task Force. We had discussed how Paula Corcoran from Channel was going to be a guest in a webinar on Bell Let's Talk Day, and that went ahead, and it was very well attended, and we had a lot of positive feedback. And I just want, for the information of public, to let you know that the next one is going to be the last Thursday in February, and that's going to be Craig Smith from the St. John's Firefighters Association. So the Mental Health Task Force is going to have a guest the last Thursday of every month.
And that's open to not only members of council, but also to our staff as well, I understand.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Councillor Antle has a question.
Just a quick note there on number 21-01-27, the appointment of our new CAO. I want to tell our residents that our CAO starts tomorrow morning. I think that she's going to be quite busy.
Yeah, she's come at an opportune time to learn on the fly, and nobody would wish that experience, I don't think, on anybody, whether you're a member of council, staff, or in the community. But we're looking forward to welcoming Ms. Burrell to our organization, and she's already done a little bit of orientation, and we're just going to have to adapt like we always do, when it comes to COVID. So I thank you for that, Councillor. Any other comments, folks? All right, hearing nothing further, I'm going to move to that roundtable I proposed about COVID, and I'd like to start perhaps you with you, Deputy Mayor, if you'd like to speak to COVID and what the impact has been on not only the residents of Mount Pearl, but the school community, whether it be O'Donnell High School or Mount Pearl Senior High. I'll turn it over to you, please.
Thank you, Mayor. It has been tough indeed. We've been working through the COVID pandemic. As we know, last March we went to online learning, which was challenging. Of course, we were able to come back to the school in September and resume in-class instruction, which was very, very good on so many fronts, but particularly from the mental health issue, which what Councillor Fry was just speaking of. And students got back into a routine, and they were happy to be back. As we know, we've had a cluster now. Mount Pearl has been mentioned as the epicenter, I think is the word used, Mayor, but we know full well now that this is more regional. It was identified in Mount Pearl first, but with the interconnectedness of sporting activities and socializing, that this has implications for beyond our borders here in Mount Pearl. So as we know, there was another, I think, 30 new cases announced today. There is concern, obviously, in our school community. But in the community at large, we are doing rigorous testing. Our public health officials, as always, were right on it as soon as this came to their attention. They're in the process now of contact tracing and getting the people in direct contact with those having contracted COVID. And then we'll systematically work through the process The plan is that for every student and every teacher and staff member at Mount Pearl Senior High, including our, janitorial staff, our support staff, our substitutes, they are all going to be involved in this testing procedure. And then we'll await the results. As they said today in the update, the decisions have always been data driven. And I know I speak on behalf of my council colleagues here and senior management that any decisions that we made as a city during the pandemic were always based on facts, information, data coming from our public health officials. And that's what guided our decisions to pivot and maneuver during the challenges that the pandemic presented. The bottom line is it's here in the community right now. And the main thing is to remain calm. We have our experts working on it systematically. But the other big message as well is to support each other. Hey, this is scary for many of our young kids now have been identified as the cohort that has this. So they're waiting their test results. So it's scary for them. It's scary for their family members, for their friends, for the teachers. So we got to realize that now is not a time to cast blame. There was no malice here intended. There was no intentional attempt to cause this to happen. It just unfolded, under normal proceedings here. So the bottom line is that we have an army of professionals behind this, and we're awaiting the results. So I just ask people to respect the process and be kind to each other. And as Dr. Fitzgerald said today, go back into our practices that we've been advocating the whole time. Social distance, wear your mask, wash your hands regularly, and together we'll get through this. That's it for me, Your Worship. Thank you.
Well said. Thank you, sir, for that update, as well as your kind advice. And always, as a member of council, Deputy Mayor, we tend to know what's on the go in our community. And as it evolves, the momentum here that we see is not very positive. But by working together, hopefully we can, as they say, flatten the curve. Councillor Fry, please.
Thank you, Your Worship. I echo everything that the Deputy Mayor said. It might be, it's here in our community, but we've been very fortunate that we have avoided it this long. And I think this is a time where we're going to pull together as a community, and our community spirit is going to show through. And I really do believe that residents will support each other. That's what we're known for, and be kind to each other. It's a very stressful time, and there are a number of measures available. If anybody is interested in, if anybody's feeling overwhelmed or wanting to reach out, Bridge the Gap have a fabulous resource. The channel warm line is available. That is 1-855-753-2560. And that's available for anybody from 9 a.m. to 12 midnight daily. And of course, there's the mental health crisis line, which is 24 hours a day. That's 1-888-737-4668. For any seniors who may be feeling isolated or increased anxiety, the Seniors NL line is 1-800-563-5599. And of course, the Kids Help Phone, where I know a number of kids right now are probably struggling and not understanding how they're feeling. If they want to chat, the number for the Kids Help Phone is 1-800-668-6868. So again, this is a time when we just look out for each other. Keep an eye on your neighbors. Keep calling people that you love, and if anybody needs a hand, be there to help them in a safe and secure manner. But I do believe that we're on top of this. We've got great advice from Eastern Health. We're in constant contact. We will get through this, and we're going to get through this together, and we're just going to come out stronger. That's it for me.
Unmute, Mayor.
Thank you, Councillor Fry. Sorry about that. Councillor Randall, please.
Thank you very much, Your Worship. I think, I guess we're all going to say the same thing, but I'd like to say I received a couple of phone calls today from some concerned residents. And one of the things I did find out about when they called me, I didn't have the answers. But I did contact the mayor, and the mayor has proven to be a reliable source, and he knew the information. I got back to the resident right away, both residents, and they knew exactly what to go. And I'd like to stress that, if you're going to ask questions, you can give either one of the mayor or the councillors or our senior staff a call, and we'll get you the information as fast as we possibly can. But you can also look at our website, it's up to date daily. And Newfoundland, the government has a great site, COVID-19, and they pass on information, right? So, if you're looking at those information, you need information, give us a call, and we'll get the correct information to you immediately. And stay safe. I think all we got to do is pay attention to the guidelines, and we'll get through this. There's some good positive messages out there, and we'll survive. We'll get through it all. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor. Yeah, I'd like to sum up by saying, like, all of you make great points. And to your point, Deputy Mayor, we need to be fact-based. We need to let the experts in the public health make the bulk of the decisions here. Councillor Fry, you talked about supporting each other and making sure professional help is available and used if necessary. And Councillor Antley, you quite rightly talk about, only focusing on reliable information as we try to get through all of this. And I know social media has been a little bit of a forum that's good for discussion, but maybe not as fact-based as we'd like it to be. But I've been encouraging people that if they have issues, whether it be with schools and school openings and closures and whatnot, or testing and the like, is for you to contact your MHA. We as a municipality will do what was necessary to support the whole process. We'll make decisions where we can in a municipal context. But when it comes to provincial issues, and that's really where the authority for public health measures lies. I know the Premier is meeting with an all-party committee, including the independent MHAs, on a daily basis to bring them up to speed. So rather than, typing away on Facebook, which sometimes is quick and expedient, pick up the phone and email your MHAs here in Mount Pearl. It's Jim Lester and Paul Lane, and I know both of them will take it to the table, further up the line, as they say. So I'd like to thank everybody, including staff, for some of the wise decisions we made yesterday, and for putting our community first at the end of the day, and the health and safety of our residents, businesses, and most importantly, our staff who deliver our services. Any further comment on the Pandemic Council? Okay, hearing none, let's go on to a proclamation, and I shall read it if you like. It's Violence Prevention Month. And whereas Violence Prevention Initiative of the Government of Newfoundland and Labrador is based on a vision that the people of our province will live in safe, caring communities where there is an inherent respect for each other, and violence of any sort is unacceptable. Whereas the solution to eradicating violence against those most at risk in our society, namely women, children, and youth, Aboriginal women and children, persons with disabilities, older persons, and others who are victims of violence because of ethnicity, sexual orientation, or economic status, is through a collaborative effort with the community to improve services and to educate all residents of our province about violence prevention. And whereas the province of Newfoundland and Labrador have made a commitment to partner with the community to seek long-term solutions to violence, now, therefore, I, the Mayor of Mount Pearl, on behalf of my colleagues on council, do hereby proclaim February 2021 to be Violence Prevention Month in the city of Mount Pearl. I encourage all residents to recognize that violence prevention is everybody's responsibility and support violence prevention activities in our community. And on behalf of you folks, I will sign that proclamation, signed today. And I invite any further discussion before we move on. Hearing none, we're going to move to the Infrastructure and Public Works Committee, Deputy Mayor Locke, and I believe for this committee, I'm thinking it's Councillor Fry. Is it, or is the third? Yeah, thank you. With Councillor Stoll is on a leave of absence. Okay, Deputy Mayor, all yours.
Thank you, Your Worship. Just trying to get the file up here right now. The first is a contract extension here for pest control services. Excuse me for a second, Your Worship. Sorry about that, folks. Had a bit of a tickle in my throat here that just didn't want to go away. The first is a contract extension recommendation for pest control services. So basically, we're recommending that we extend to Rent-A-Kill for a 1-year extension from April 15th, 21 to April 14th, 2022. Excuse me again, sir. Sorry about that. So the bid amount is $13,948.58. This includes HST. And this, Your Worship, extension will be the same terms and conditions as the existing contract, which is within the operational budget. Initially, we tendered this for 3 years. We released the first tender in March of 2018, and it extended to April 14th of 2021. The bid amount at that time, Your Worship, was $13,948.58. This did have an extension provision in it. This contracted for 1 year, and this extension option is valid only for 1 year. And then, of course, at the end of this, Your Worship, there will be a public tender, and that will be required at the end of that year. So again, our committee is recommending once again that we extend the contract with Rent-A-Kill Canada Corporation for the additional 1 year from April 15th of 2021 to April 14th of 2022 for the annual bid amount of $13,948.58. This includes HST and at the same terms and conditions of the existing contract, as I said before, which is within operational budget, and I so move.
It is moved by Deputy Mayor, and second by Councillor Fry. Any comments or any questions?
Just a quick note there, Deputy Mayor. I noticed there's 3 here, and so I'll ask you the same question for 3 of them, so you can answer 3 of them at the same time, regarding contract extensions. Why would we be extending these for just 1 year? Is it because we got such a better price, or is there another reason?
That's a valid question, Councillor Antle. As a part of the initial contract, there was a 1-year extension within the existing contract. So we had that same question. I know the mayor joined us for our last committee meeting, and the question was, do we go to market now or do we extend it for 1 year? But based on our staff's recommendations and the pricing that we had here, we deemed it prudent to continue with this particular contractor. And then at the end of next year, it's just for 1 year, then at next year, it would go to public tender once again.
Okay. Well, no, that's a great answer. I just want, it's all within budget, and it's a good idea that we're saving the residents money. Looking forward.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Thank you.
For the comment, hearing none, I'll call the question. All in favor? Contrary-minded, and is carried. Back to you, Deputy Mayor.
Thank you, Your Worship. And I apologize for the tickle in my throat here. The next item for us, Your Worship, is another contract extension, as Councillor Antle just made reference to. And this is for locksmith services. In January of 2018, we issued a tender for these services, and bids were evaluated. The contract was awarded to the lowest qualified bidder, Armor Lock and Safe Limited. And that was for the period of June 29th, 2018 to June 28th of 2021. For in this case, the annual bid amount was $13,124.37, inclusive of HST. This contract also has an extension provision for an additional 1-year term, and upon the same terms and conditions, provided that both parties agree. This extension option is only valid for 1 year, and as I said before, a public tender would be required at the end of that year. So our committee is recommending that we extend this contract for locksmith services to Armor Lock and Safe Limited for the additional 1 year from the period of June 29th, 2021 to June 28th of 2022 for the annual amount of $13,124.37, including HST, at the same terms and conditions of the existing contract. And this again is within our operational budget, and I so move.
It is moved by the Deputy Mayor and second by Councillor Fry. Councillor Antle, any further question? Councillor Fry? Hearing none, I'll call the motion. All in favor? Those opposed? And carried. Thank you. On to number 3, sir.
Yeah, another contract extension, Your Worship. This has to do with floor mat supply and exchange services. In January of 2018, again, we issued a contract for this services. The contract was awarded to Canadian Linen and Uniform Services as the lowest bidder, and this was for the period of April 1st, 2018 to March 31st of 2021 for the annual bid amount of $16,190.85, including HST. This also had an extension provision for an additional 1 year, and upon the same terms and conditions provided once again that both parties agree. This extension option is valid for the 1 year period, and then a public tender is required at the end of that year. So our committee again is recommending to extend the existing contract for floor mat and supply exchange services to Canadian Linen and Uniform Services for an extra year going from April 1st, 2021 to March 31st, 2022 for the annual bid amount of $16,190.85, including HST, at the same terms and conditions of the existing contract. And this again is within our operational budget, and I so move.
Again, it is moved by the Deputy Mayor and seconded by Councillor Fry. Councillor Anko, go ahead, please.
Just another question, Deputy Mayor, that came to me as I was seeing this. I noticed there's 3 here. Will this continue? Is there other options where we can save more money like this with the city, that there's an option for 1 year on our tenders?
Well, I guess I'll have to defer to Council or Director Antle on that one. I mean, as these come to our committee, we deal with ones, each case as it comes. So perhaps Director Antle will speak to anything else coming down the pipeline.
Yes, thank you, Deputy Mayor. We have several service contracts that are multiple years. Depending on the nature of the contract, they have options. Some do, some don't. Most importantly is depending on the service that we're being provided, and the rates are good rates that we think are still reasonable in our marketplace. That's the ones we'll be bringing forward for recommendation. So these are the 3 at this point in time. There's others, of course, that we're contemplating that will be going to market, going to tender.
So, well, it really speaks well to these companies too. I mean, you feel comfortable that you want to extend these another year, so they must be giving us great service. Well,
we're satisfied.
Okay, I'll call the question. All in favor? Contrary-minded? Motion carried. Deputy Mayor, all yours again.
All right, thank you, Your Worship. I will continue. The next is the multi-year capital works project budget, and it's a request here to transfer some funds from the 2012 to 2014 multi-year capital works projects, the Sunrise Avenue, to the balance from that to the 2017-2020 Topsail Road Storm Sewer Project. Our staff have reviewed the proposed funding transfers from, again, the multi-year capital works funding programs, and we're recommending approval of the following transfers as outlined below. So we're looking at transferring out $649,448 from the Sunrise Avenue Street upgrade, top up, and we want to transfer that into the 2017-2020 projects for the upgrade of the storm sewer outfall at Topsail Road to the Waterford River and to upgrade storm sewer on sections of Topsail Road. So that's the proposal there. And of course, this is pending provincial approval, which is to be sought, and I so move.
The recommendation has been motioned by the Deputy Mayor and seconded by Councillor Fry. And of course, it has, I believe, Deputy Mayor, to go to the province for endorsement. It requires a minute of council. And I believe that's your purpose here today.
Correct.
I'll call the question. All in favor? And those opposed? And the motion is passed. Thank you.
Okay, Your Worship, the last 2 for our committee today are just some updates, status updates. The first is our public works. And of course, as we know, our winter maintenance is ongoing, and our crews have done another great job going around and cleaning up the city after the most recent snowfall. In addition to our regular work, we did have the installation of an outdoor rink at Team Guju and at Murley Drive. They have been completed. We just need to wait for some steady cold weather now to make use of those. But I want to extend thanks to our staff for getting those in place, and let's just hope we're able to get a skate on those. The next for us, Your Worship, is the capital works status updates. Badcock Place, the design reviews are underway and construction is slated to start during the summer of 2021. With respect to our St. David's Playground, the tenders will be issued by the end of this month, February of 2021. With respect to the pedestrian underpass repairs along Old Placentia Road there, the tender is going to be issued in the not too distant future. With respect to our 2021 crack sealing programs, our tender again will be finished and finalized in February of this month, February 2021. And the 2021 line painting, our street markings, that'll be tendered as well in February of 2021. And that's it for us, Your Worship. I'll turn it over to my colleagues to go on with the Community Development Committee report. Thank you.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor. And I'm going to turn now to the Community Development Committee, as you said, Councillor Fry.
Thank you, Your Worship. First on our agenda this evening is the Mount Pearl Sport Alliance first installment for the 2021 operating subsidy. So the committee recommends approval to release the first installment, which is the administration portion of the Mount Pearl Sport Alliance operating grant for 2021. And that's in the amount of $87,000 as per the memorandum of understanding between the city and the Mount Pearl Sport Alliance. Next, we have the Admiralty House Communication Museum first installment for their operating subsidy. So the committee recommends approval to release the first installment of the Admiralty House Communication Museum for their 2021 operating subsidy in the amount of $45,000 as per the memorandum of understanding between the city and the museum.
Councillor, can I just interrupt for a quick second? You want to, let's motion those. We could do it together, but they are separate motions. I believe it requires approval of council. So I would like to call a vote. And I know you have moved the Sport Alliance as well as the Admiralty House installments, first installment for 2021, the second by Councillor Antle. I'd just like to call the question, and all in favor? Contrary-minded, carried. Okay, sorry about that. I just want to make sure we got that housekeeping piece out of the way.
Fair enough. Did you want to do the second one as well?
For the purposes of the minutes, Director Antle, which I think you're keeping, I think it's noted that both were approved in the motion.
Perfect. Okay, next we have our residential and building construction. And now this is the 2019 and 2020 comparison. So throughout the past year, given the hurdles within our city, like Snowmageddon and the COVID-19 pandemic, it didn't stop residents and businesses from their construction projects. The number of building permits issued in both residential and commercial construction for 2020 has increased in value by approximately $20 million. So the total number of permits increased by approximately 50% this year. So we just want to say a huge thank you to our staff who have worked together, many of them remotely during the pandemic, to ensure that these applications, site visits, permits, etc., were carried out in a timely manner. And their continued perseverance and dedication to continue to work is recognized. So congratulations is extended to all, to residents, businesses, and staff for a successful construction year despite the COVID pandemic.
Well said, very good. Yeah.
Finally for us, we have our development permit listing from January the 25th to February the 5th. So the committee recommends that the following development permit be approved as presented. And as you can see in your kit there are three. There's Keystone Builders, Killick Capital Inc., and which is Lion Wash Brewery, and Coal Air Contracting. And I so move.
It is moved by Councillor Fry, seconded by Councillor Antle. Any comments? Any questions? I'll call the question. All in favor? Those opposed? And carried. Thank you.
Okay, the committee also recommends that the building permits issued for the period of January 25th to February the 5th, showing a total construction value of $230,300 be approved, and further that the occupancy permit list be accepted and presented as presented. And those are here in your kit. And if there are no questions on those, I will so move.
Moved by Councillor Fry, thank you, and moved second by Councillor Antle. All in favor? Contrary-minded? Carried. Thank you so much.
And that's it for our committee report this evening, Your Worship.
All right, we'll switch roles now and bring down the Corporate Services and Economic Development Committee report. Councillor Bill Antle, please.
No, Your Worship, now we got to pay the bills. Councillor Fry and Councillor Deputy Mayor Locke is spending money, so we have to pay them. First off, invoices for approval. You see there's a 12 there for our approval. Just call one outside there, number 8, the target marketing for $72,000. That's for our that is for our foreign direct investment marketing program for materials and programs and that kind of stuff. This is a great project that we entered with the city, and it's 50% funded through the provincial government, and for a total of $162,375.13. And I so move.
Again, it is moved by Councillor Antle and seconded by Councillor Fry. Any comments? I feel like saying any comments, Deputy Mayor? Knowing that the committee probably reviewed this at large in the previous opportunity. So hearing none, I see you shaking your head. I'll call the question. All in favor? Those opposed? Carried. Thank you.
And so we have there for our payment register and a purchase card report. This is a new report. We always had a payment register, but the purchase card report is something that we added a few months ago. And you can see there in your kit, there's quite a lot of those, and you can review them. And they were for a total, and these run from the payment register goes from January 28th to February the 4th. And the purchase report card goes from September the 30th to December the 30th, 2020. Underneath the payment register, you can see a couple of large ones there. There's one there for the City of St. John's, $418,692. And that goes on to some of the bills that we pay within the City of St. John's. We pay our own way for sure, and that has to do with transportation, such as the Metro bus, tipping fees down to the dump, and those kind of things. So, we are paying our full way, our full share of the City of St. John's. And those invoices total $1,065.52, and I so move.
Again, moved by Councillor Antle and second by Councillor Fry. Comments, questions, and none. I'll call the question. All in favor? Contrary-minded, carried.
And this our signature. You can see the P cards for your own review. And then we have to talk about the census updates. And be it resolved that the City of Mount Pearl supports the 2021 census and encourages all residents to complete their census questionnaire at www.census.gc.ca. Accurate and complete data support programs and services benefit the whole entire community. We really recommend that everybody pay attention to that. And there's one thing there outside your kit, and it has to do with as you know, everything within the city changes minute to minute, and this is an announcement, or we have to bring up, and I think there's changes within that. As our city, our priority is the health and wellness of our staff, residents, and businesses. To do our part in slowing the spread of COVID-19, we are closing City Hall to the public effective tomorrow, February the 10th, 2021. A further update will be made on Friday, February the 12th. Resident businesses, if they need anything, give us a call at 748-1000 to book an appointment. We have also extended our deadline to pay taxes to February the 26th, 2021. And at this point, are encouraging residents and business to pay through their bank or via check. To do this, all you need is your roll number, which is found in the top left-hand corner of your tax bill. And that's everything from me, Your Worship.
So there's a motion required, is there, for the tax? I don't think there is. I believe that's just the approval of the council. But I'm sure, looking at my colleagues, we all would endorse that. The closure of City Hall is, made in consultation with council, but is operational. Go ahead, Councillor Fry.
I just wanted a clarification. City Hall is closing, but are we still offering appointments for permits and any resident needs like that?
Yeah, we're moving to appointments on Thursday, I believe.
Okay.
I think tomorrow is just meant to be a transition day.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, I believe that's the end of the agenda. And I thank you all for your attendance here today, but I certainly wouldn't leave the meeting without first inviting you to have a chat and go around the table. Councillor Antle, I believe you were the first last time. I believe I'm moving to the Deputy Mayor first tonight. Deputy Mayor Locke.
Thank you, Your Worship. Just got a few items here that I want to raise. The first, I just want to extend condolences to the Galgay family for the passing of Francis Galgay. I know it impacted many people in our community, and I just wanted to send out, condolences, best wishes, and let the family know that they're in our thoughts and prayers. Also, my second item here, on a more positive note, had to do with the Frosty Bingo that we all attended last week, selling some tickets, and it was a great turnout. People had a lot of fun. It was an opportunity to get out and and engage some social activity. It was all very well controlled though, and very cleansed. And I was sat behind a booth that had plastic all around me, so COVID was at top of mind of the organizers, and they did a great job coordinating it. And I do know that the proceeds from that particular bingo did go to help out our food banks, which is a great initiative. So I want to commend all the volunteers that were involved. And again, it was another support another great cause within our community. And the last one I want to mention, Your Worship, I sort of saw this on Facebook, and it's a former O'Donnell student by the name of Jordan Ford. And there was a nice little write-up on Jordan. Jordan went to Memorial University and did a science degree, but he started out doing engineering, but then he, felt it wasn't for him, and he developed a passion for meteorology. And there's a nice story there about that how he finished his science degree, and in the process, he reached out to a lot of the weather experts, Rod Burney and Dale Foote, Durham Kearney, Brian Walsh, Kelly Butt, Ryan Snodden, Eddie Shear, and he was very complimentary how mentoring these folks were. So he signed up for an intensive year-long program at Dalhousie in meteorology. He started online, started this September. So I just wanted to extend a congratulations. It was a great news story, and it was good to see a young person from the city, or young people in general, that find their passion and pursue it. And he's really looking forward. So who knows, maybe in years to come, we'll be deferring to Mr. Jordan Ford as he reads the weather update. So one other thing just came to my mind, Your Worship. I know we were talking earlier about COVID and people working together. Just a nice story. I just before we started the meeting here, I had a former student of many years back reach out to me, and he asked if I was still teaching, and I said yes. So then he said, so that means you're in isolation. If there's anything I can do to pick up anything, if you need anything picked up, just reach out. So that's an example there of the kindness that people within our community show one another. So I'm very touched by his kindness and generosity. And that's just an example of what we all need to do, as you said, Your Worship, as we stick handle our way through these troublesome times. It's through reaching out, as Councillor Fry said, and checking in on people through phone calls and face messages, just to make sure that everyone is doing okay. And not only your physical health, but as Councillor Fry alluded to, our mental health is of utmost importance during these trying times. And again, it's through the social connections that'll help us get through this. And that's it for me, Your Worship. Thank you.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor. Councillor Fry, please.
We don't have much to add tonight. I also wanted to send along congratulations to the Frosty organizers for the bingo that they did. They did a top-notch job. As the Deputy Mayor said, everything was very safe and protocol was followed. It's really sad that we should be in the throes of the Frosty Festival right now as we speak, but it was nice to have at least some event to see all those beautiful faces again. And also for me, I just wanted to thank the Mount Pearl Paradise Chamber of Commerce. They, along with us, coordinated the debate for our candidates for the upcoming elections. So we have some really great candidates. I want to wish them all luck. And I know it must be difficult during this time now to try and reach the residents, but wish them all best of luck in the upcoming election. And stay safe, everybody.
Thank you, Councillor. Moving on to you now, Mr. Councillor Ansel, please.
Just a few things from me, Your Worship. I'd like to send out my sentiments and my condolences also to the family of Francis Calgay. One thing is I was really surprised when I woke up Saturday morning, I saw that on Facebook. Francis certainly brought a smile to many, many faces, right? You can't think about Francis. You didn't even talk about Francis without thinking about how much, every time you saw Francis, you had to laugh. She was always fun. Her sisters were always good. The ugly stepsisters, I think they were called. They entertained us much. It certainly was a shock, right? So I'll pass on that. Just to, and I feel like I'm taking over from Councillor Stowes just for the night, right? But I'd like to talk about Canada Post. I'm sorry. And mostly I want to talk about Canada Post because I am getting a few calls regarding Canada Post. And I know we have a meeting scheduled with Canada Post, but I want to take advantage of the public meeting to let the residents know that we are concerned and we do pay attention to it. You know, right now I know Canada Post, their snow clearing operators are somehow, when they're clearing the snow, they're clearing the mailboxes, they are pushing the snow up against fences and damaging fences. And you just let the residents know that our Director of Public Works and our staff are paying attention to that. And we are taking pictures and we will be looking at it. So it is well in hand. We have not ignored it. Last Tuesday night, February the 3rd, all our council took advantage of some AED training. And I must say that AED training, I walked around the buildings here in Mount Pearl. I think we had something like 60 or 70. I think Director Antle can tell me the difference. But we see these boxes all over the glacier and the summit and all over our buildings. And most of us don't know what they are. I know what they were, but I didn't have no idea how to use those. And we had Dan Mark come in and train us on that. And I must say the training was fabulous. I mean, we all took our time and we learned how to use these things. We're not experts, but I think we can all use these things and hopefully, we can help somebody. So thanks for doing that. It was really a good thing to do. Now, I already mentioned that our CIO starts tomorrow morning and we wish her well. And that's everything from me, sir.
Well, very well said, sir. Thank you very much. And folks, I think you've covered the community, both, long and short, as they say. And I'm thankful, council, to be with you and our staff. And I know that we are very much in touch with our community these days. We have to continue to support each other. But you talk about the connections within the region. You talk about how a small or a large high school in Mount Pearl, where 50% of the students really are coming from Paradise. And you talk about interactions, Deputy Mayor, volleyball teams and basketball teams. But I knew Frances Galgay many, many years ago when I grew up on Massey Crescent in the 70s, and her sister, one of her musical sisters, I might add, lived across the street. And every Sunday, in they would come and from Patrick Street where they grew up, and they would go to Massey Crescent to see my neighbor across the street. And I remember young Jonathan Galgay, who later in life we both met each other through political connections. He was a member of council here in the city of St. John's. So it's a very small world, this region we live in. We're very proud to live in the city of Mount Pearl, but we always recognize that we have friends and friends and relatives in other communities neighboring here. So it's a great province we live in, and we'll get through the tough times we're in right now. I'm going to call for a motion now to adjourn, and we'll resume committee of the whole in approximately 25 minutes, if that works for everybody. So moved by Councillor Fry and seconded by the Deputy Mayor for adjournment, and we are adjourned. Good evening, everybody, and thank you.
Thank you, Mayor.